Hello guys and welcome back to the podcast. Today is the big one. We're talking football versus
football.
RenderForce.com.
And we're back. So we put on Facebook a while back that we were going to have a debate for the ages.
The biggest one we've probably ever done.
We will be arguing today on different points of why football is better than football. So I hope you enjoy this one. Let us know down below throughout the video if you like any of our points and who you agree with the most.
That's right. So Tanner, who are you a fan of again?
Football!
More specifically,
Alabama!
Put my hat back on after that one.
Roll Tide.
And of course, as everybody knows, I am an Atlanta United fan. 2018 MLS champions and reigning kings of the South. Screw Orlando. And that is who I am wearing and representing today in this debate. So, me and Tanner each have, I thought it was 3 points. We may actually have a few points. I have 3. Tanner looks like he made many. I am the underdog in this fight. I don't care what anybody says. That we've asked the people who bet next door, the gamblers, we asked who do they have. All the money's on Tanner on this one. But you know what? I'm going to come in. I love my team. I love my sport. I'm going to go down swinging if I go down.
I would say I might have 1 or 2 more points. Nick has a lot more to his points. My points are concise and pinpointed. This is why it's better.
All right.
All right, Nick, take it away.
Nick's going first?
Yeah.
All right. Let me put on the hat.
We're going to do point.
MLS champions.
We're going to do point for point.
We can do point for point.
Okay.
That's what you want to do.
Go for it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this debate started. Nick's point number 1. Football, or as it's called here, soccer. Why is it better than American football? Okay. Why should Tanner give a rat's butt about why 2 people are kicking the soccer ball around? Point number 1, soccer is global. I can go up to, with a soccer ball, if you go up to somebody, let's take 3 places, Europe, Africa, and Asia. Let's take Italy, Zimbabwe, and let's say China. If you go up with an American football, go, hey man, what's up? They're going to look at you like, whoa, what are you throwing something at me? What are you, stupid? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Are you saying that people from other countries don't know what a football is?
They might, but they might not know how to play. But I promise you, if I took a soccer ball or an actual football, which you only touch your feet with, not hand egg that you mainly throw,
Here you go.
If I took, you get your rebuttal in a minute. If you take the football and you kick it towards them, I promise you, they're going to look at that. They're going to go, oh, hey, he wants to play football with me. They're going to start kicking it back. It is the world's sport. As a matter of fact, soccer hosts the World Cup, not the American League. Not the. Get that out.
You know what that is?
Get that out of my face. Get that out of my face. They have the World Cup. The World Cup last time it was played, it got 3.572 billion watches. Billion! I would bet money, I'll even let you look it up, because it got 3.5 billion views. Half the world watched the World Cup, where the Olympics got 19.8 million and the Super Bowl got 98 million views. Boom! The world's game. You can go anywhere on earth, no matter what language they speak, and they can share in the one thing, which is the beautiful game.
It's a long-ass point.
Oh, yeah, but I told you I was making a point. So, soccer, or football, which it should be called, is global. Go ahead with your first point.
Okay. I would like to rebut your point, and then I'll carry on.
Please.
If you were to take a football anywhere else in the world and throw it at somebody, they're going to catch it. More than likely, they're going to think it's a rugby ball. Because they have rugby. That is basically just a football, except they don't wear padding.
I'm letting you go with your
Same
point.
thing. Now,
I will rebuttal one thing to that. Rugby is popular in places that were colonized by the United Kingdom. Other places, like Italy, France, a few places in Africa, they don't play rugby, nor do they play football. So even if you did throw it at them, they would be like, "Whoa!"
So what
throwing something.
What
at
you're
me.
telling me is that they don't sell footballs around the world.
Like American style footballs. They might, but I promise you, it's not as heavily played or understood as soccer is.
Okay.
Go ahead with your point.
So to begin with, Nick, I like the direction that you went because you kind of talked about how great soccer is in all of these other countries other than America. See, American football is an American pastime, really. It's become amazing in American culture. It's very much American. And I'm a proud American.
You're going to hit me with that.
I am proud of my country and the things that our country stands for. And I would put football in there with it, not soccer. Now, my first point is football is better because cheating has not become part of the game like soccer has.
Oh boy.
There is many times you can watch a soccer game and people fake injuries.
It's called flopping.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. To where there is no faking an injury in football. In American football.
I'll give it to you. When they collapse, they're usually hurt.
Cheating has not become part of the game like it has in soccer.
Is that your point?
That's point number one. Quick and concise.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. No, I'll rebuttal that. Yes, there are some soccer players that will strategically will drop if things go in the right direction. But there's a lot of time the refs will say, There are several times. As a matter of fact, the game me and my brother last went to, dude hit the ground, the ref was like, up. Yes, it is strategic. Yes, but there is more to it. There's actually a lot of cheating.
Called cheating.
There is a lot of cheating goes on in soccer. You're not supposed to do handballs. That'll happen. The ref won't catch it. And there's a lot of times. There's actually what happened last season with Atlanta United that they never got called for. Is that dude literally put one of our players in a chokehold. You're not supposed to touch the other players, but he was like choking the guy out like this, and the ref didn't call anything.
So it's not as American, and there's a shit ton of cheating.
Sometimes you just sometimes you take a game. Sometimes you take a game and you just got to play dirty. Sometimes you just got to play dirty.
That sounds good. That sounds
you done
very
your point?
respectful.
That was my rebuttal. Are you ready for the next point?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Number 2, unpredictability.
Yeah, with all the cheating, it's very unpredictable.
Unpredictability. You can say, what do you mean by unpredictability? What I mean is when you're watching a football game, there is the opportunity. There is sometimes the opportunity that he gets the ball, he sees he's open, he throws it, he catches it, breaks away, nobody can touch him, touchdown. That doesn't happen every play, though. That's not consistent. Most times during a football game, you're like, I gotta pee, I'll be right back. You can go to the bathroom. In soccer with Atlanta United, we don't even sit during our game. You know why? Because they can be on the opposite side of the field, the opposite team about to get a goal, and the goalie or whoever can kick that ball and it go flying. And then,
you mean like an interception?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I not speaking? I thought this was my turn.
Go ahead.
So the ball can immediately. We don't even sit during our games. As a matter of fact, in the supporter section, they hold a sign. Anti-sit. You do not sit during the game. You don't leave during the game. You don't sit during the game. The only time you sit down, take a break, is at half.
Okay.
Is at half. Soccer's completely unpredictable. I have been to football games. I have been to soccer games. And I will tell you firsthand that soccer is far more unpredictable. The ball will literally be over here and then over here in a matter of seconds. You can watch the game be on one side of the field to the complete other. Football is more of a military where it's two forces coming together. Bam, and it usually goes down the field. Bam, 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 bam. Yes, sometimes there will be an interception. Yes, sometimes there'll be this amazing Hail Mary that they'll get. Trust me, Tennessee one year beat Georgia with that. I was ecstatic. It happens. But in soccer, a typical match, this isn't when they make a breakaway. It's not like, whoa, this is getting intense. It is high adrenaline the entire time you're there. Soccer can turn on a dime in a second. The speed of soccer is hard. Football's hard to match the speed and intensity that soccer goes at. Now, I'm not taking anything away from football. Yes, they will get breaks. There will be interceptions. Yes, there will be some amazing plays. And when you see them, you will stand on your feet and you will cheer until you almost pass out. But I am telling you, I put my money where my mouth is, and I will bet that it doesn't match the same intensity that you get sitting at a soccer match. And at the end of this video, I'll explain what I mean by that. But for right now, my next point is that soccer is unpredictable. It is all over the field, all over the place. There can be a goal happening anytime. Whereas in football, they usually slowly make their way down a field. And in really good games against two really good teams, they don't even get a touchdown. They usually work their way down as far as they can, kick a field goal, and then go to the next. Because it's two really good teams. That's the way the game's designed. Bam, bam, bam. But in soccer, it's high energy. It's everywhere.
Okay. You're normally the bam, bam, bam. That's normally the SEC. That's not really how the NFL works. The NFL does a whole lot more passing plays and further long plays that are very unpredictable. There's interceptions and things like that. There's fumbles. It can go from this side of the field to this side of the field very, very quickly in football, especially the NFL. Now,
hold on, Mike. I'll have a quick rebuttal to that. I don't keep up with NFL per se, but I have seen Super Bowls, and all the Super Bowls I've seen have been exactly like I'm saying. But if you want to let that topic go, go ahead.
I would say that is because it is the Super Bowl.
It is the best of the best.
It's literally they don't want to give the opportunity for an interception. This is the game that matters. The only reason we're throwing it is if there is the opportunity to where we know it's 100% going to happen. Now,
you can go ahead with your next one.
Would you agree that soccer is mostly not in the United States? Hey, would you agree with that?
Yes, but it is growing.
Okay. Now, would you also say that most soccer teams are owned by clubs?
Yes.
Okay. So, you see, the difference between football and soccer is soccer, the teams are owned by these small groups of rich clubs that have bought up these teams. Now,
what's your argument here? Because NFL is owned by rich.
There are only a handful of clubs that own all of these teams. Football is not only owned by different states, it is owned by different schools, by different colleges. Whenever you actually pick a team, you are picking a concise team. Not, I've got this little group of rich guys over here that have bought these.
Just real quick, let me see the pen. Go ahead. No, keep going on your point. No, stop.
So, where was I?
You said owned by state. You're saying that in soccer it's clubs, but with football it's like states and
colleges. Now, now, whenever you get into the NFL, those are owned by people. They are owned by very rich people that buy the teams or whatever. But with the SEC, they are owned by colleges. So you are actually getting, you are supporting a college, not these rich groups trying to get richer. Another point that I would like to throw out there is, Nick, would you say that soccer players are, to put it lightly, rude to officials?
Rude to officials? I would say no more than football.
Really? Mm-hmm. Really?
I would say no more than American football.
Really?
Okay, I will admit that when the card is drawn, there's always the
freak out trying to punch the ref.
You are exaggerating.
No, I'm not.
Very few times.
Every game I've ever seen, every football or soccer game I've ever seen, like sitting in Buffalo Wild Wings and there's a soccer game, always, as soon as the ref says something negative to a player, that player's screaming in that ref's face. Now, I will admit, SEC, you get Nick Saban on them sidelines, and if they throw a bullshit throw, Nick Saban's going to be screaming, telling them that it's wrong. But the players don't yell at the refs, they don't hit the refs, they don't attack the refs, they don't scream in the refs' faces. But soccer players are just jacked up fucking fiends. They have to get out that energy.
That's your point.
Would you agree that they are...
Would I agree
that they do not respect the officials?
Would I agree that soccer players care more about the game?
No,
Then
no,
yes,
no.
I would.
Would you say that they are more disrespectful to the officials?
That's harsh because anybody can interpret disrespectful the way they want to. Some people view it as you have to insult me and cuss me and call me a name to be disrespectful. Other people say all you got to do is...
You're beating around the bush. You know what I mean.
Yes, soccer players are more intense with the game, and if they get called on a bullcrap call that they don't wait for the coach to come out, a lot of them will say right up front what I think of your decision. This was your decision. This is what I think of it. This is what you can do with it. And then, but I've never seen a ref actually get physically assaulted.
But you have not in America, correct? Which is what the majority of soccer is.
But I will admit that there was actually a ref at an Atlanta United game, and he did get pelted on the way out. Look, man. Okay, that's okay. Fine. You made your point. It's my point.
Is this your last point?
Yes, my point is that even though it's somewhat shameful, American football fans are hardcore. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But as you just pointed out, you made my last point. Soccer fans
are disrespectful.
Are at another level.
Yeah, they're disrespectful.
Are at another level. It is shameful, I understand. But it is to the point now where there are literally games that are played or matches that are played in England, for example, that there has to be the away teams enter through a separate entrance and they stand right here, and then on the other side, this is the home team. There will be not one but two rows of police officers between the two. Oh,
is that because they can't actually be friendly with each other?
No. No, because
they can't be adults about the game.
Because it is taken so much more seriously. Europeans, an example, and some Americans, it doesn't get to the same extent, but it gets pretty bad to the point where it's not just as simple. It is almost as if two countries going to war. In America, I'm gonna bring this up. In America, when you have Alabama and let's say Alabama and LSU, right? Mm-hmm. When you have those two places like going at each other, I would consider that like. Compare it to another sport like baseball. I would say the same intensity they got is like the World Series, whatever, right. Baseball. But when you get some soccer teams together, it is like no matter what side you're, it is like Palestine and Israel. It is like death, man. It is like they are intense. They will scream at each other. The police have to come out to police the things. It's after the end of soccer games. At the end of football games, there have been, we talked about it before, maybe cities have got caught on fire, maybe things. People have died at the end of soccer games, especially.
I wouldn't agree that that's a good thing, Nick. I would say that that's a bad thing.
I bring this point up. There's a method to the madness. You're right, some people might say that is terrible. What I'm saying
somebody died because of a soccer
What I am saying is, and that's not common in America, and it's not that common in Europe. There is some other places. Mainly like South American stuff. But what I'm bringing up is you can be a part of American football and you can yeah. But when you get into soccer or when you get into football, it is a realm. It's a whole different creature. It is a different mentality. It is a different everything.
Obviously, if they're killing people, it's a different mentality.
It is.
They're disrespectful and killing people. Very different mentality.
You are taking this completely the wrong way. You were taking that completely the wrong way.
I can't wait to make my final point.
Yes, it is violent, and it can get, but it usually doesn't. It can get to that point. The fans are so much more intense about the game and what's going on that, yes, it does get out of control sometimes. Mm-hmm. But not all the time. But you still get that same kind of passion and drive with the teams and the cheering, the stands. There's video of at a soccer match, and the people are jumping up and down because their team is winning, and you can see the concrete like bouncing. And nobody cares because it's all about the team. It's about the game. It's about the energy. It's about the sport. It's about the intensity. That's what it's about, man.
That stuff happens at football games, but we don't have to kill each other.
You bring up the killing. That is an extreme. And I bet there probably has been some people who have died at the end of a Super Bowl. I bet there probably has. There's all kind of rioting going on. I bet. See, you turn around on soccer and make it sound like all we do at the end of every match is, okay, we lost. Who's going to die?
I'm just using your words back.
That guy. I brought it up because I'm saying that, yes, it does get intense because of the passion that comes with it, but it very rarely comes to that.
Passion can be bad.
Passion can be bad?
Passion can be a bad thing.
It very rarely ever comes to that. Does it ever really come to that? Well, I bring that point up is because soccer fans or football fans, they take it to the next level compared to like American football fans. Because at the peak of an American football fan, you're going to get about here. But you take some soccer fans, and before the game even begins, it's already here, baby. It's already here. They are good to go. I end that point to rebuttal one of your last points. You said that football is owned by different, it's state and colleges. My argument to that is, what about college soccer teams? UTC has a soccer team. Georgia, Alabama, UTK, they have their own soccer teams that compete.
When I said that, I wasn't talking about American soccer. I brought that up and said...
Oh, you're talking about European
soccer.
Yeah,
European soccer is owned by... I said that. I'm pretty sure I said that. Don't go back. But European soccer is owned by clubs.
Well, America is somewhat owned by some clubs, too. It's not to the same extent, but it's still, even in America, this is Atlanta United. You've got Orlando. You've got L.A. You've got Houston Dynamo. Yeah. It's represented now. I will say that with soccer, it's not necessarily like state as much as it is like city. Like usually with the MLS, they'll pick a city and this city. But I have a final point, but I have to write it down. You got.
How many more points are you going to make as the video goes on?
How many do you got?
This is my last point.
Make your last point. I'm just writing a summary. Okay. I'm not writing a point.
We'll come. I'm going to give my final point right after this break.
Yes.
Big boy. I would love for you to make that point.
And we're back.
All right. My final point. And I don't think after this point I need to go any further. And then you can make your point and we'll give our final conclusions.
Go ahead.
Football is better than soccer because how the game goes and directed is not decided by penalty shootouts. I'll continue. If the game ends in soccer and there's a tie, you get 15 minutes of going back and forth, I believe is how it works. My problem with that is...
So you're talking about PKs, penalty kicks.
Right, yeah. So you get these penalty kicks. So in football, if we go into overtime, we play the game. In soccer, if they go into overtime or they end tied, the entire game is all based off of what direction the goalie thinks the soccer ball is going to go in. So it depends on what direction a guy jumps. That's it. The entire fucking game is thrown away based off of what direction the goalie decides to jump and, oh shit, they kicked the ball that direction. Not actually playing the game. It's like a penalty kick of, oh, I thought he was going to kick it this way. My team just lost because my goalie jumped in the wrong direction. Now, Nick, you kind of had this look on your face whenever I said that the game wasn't decided by penalty shootouts. Why did you give that look, Nick?
Because it does come down to penalty shootouts only during championships. There's several times that soccer games will end in a tie. They'll say, 1-1, okay, we're good to go, or 2-2, okay, let's go, and that's it. But during championships, there has to be a winner, so they will line up, and it will become a PK shootout. As a matter of fact, Atlanta United's first season, they were in the first part of the finals, and it got down to a PK shootout, and we lost due to a PK shootout. Yes, but you can't take anything away from that because the PK shootouts, that is a skill in the sport. It is high intensity. Everyone holds their breath because it's one kick. One kick can decide the entire thing.
I would put it in this form. With football, your points that are on the scoreboard have to actually be earned. You have to actually work for it. Not stand there and go, okay, the goalie is going to jump in that direction. I can see the way that he's leaning, so I'm going to kick it in that direction. No, you have to bust your ass and get down there to earn your points.
That's easily debatable. Because you're talking about the skill, because you've got somebody...
The skill of kicking a ball in this direction because he jumped this direction? That's skillful right there.
The skill of predicting it, man.
Yeah. He'll probably fall down holding his shin,
That's the whole
too.
game. Oh my God. That's the whole game. When you get the ball at the end, what do you think happens? You have to get past the goalie. It's not like...
Here's the thing, Nick.
It's not like you catch the ball and you start running. You're like, there's nobody around.
No.
This is easy. I'm going to do a little dance. I'm going to do the worm, and then I'm going to throw the ball over because I'm done. Even if you break away, which actually you can't break away too much because if you get the ball... Anyways, we can get off sides.
You have to get past the goalie.
Yes.
But you also have other people around you at that point. These penalty kicks are bullshit.
That's only during
There's nobody there to block other than the goalie. You know what happens? Okay, I will concede that our version of that is field goals. But you know what? There's still a team there that can jump up and block the field goal.
Just as there's still a guy. Well,
there's one guy, Nick, not the team. This is the whole team on the field earning the points, making the points to win the game.
It's a weak point.
You literally made it one guy and one guy, and I have to guard this huge fucking spot right here, and you might kick it over my head, and I jump to the left.
Says to a man who has never been present watching his team do a PK shootout. I rest my case on that one.
A PK shootout?
Penalty kick shootout. That's what you're talking about. When it's like the game's tied, there has to be a winner, and then each team will kick, and the goalie has to block. PK shootout.
Yeah, I don't have a team, so yeah, I've never seen...
So this is coming from a guy who has never been there and experienced it when I have. I was at the game where we lost in the PK shootout. So, with that being said, fine, Tanner wants to make that point. I say it's a weak point, but that's fine. If you want to make that point, you make that point. But I will say, Tanner's not a soccer fan. He's never been there with the intensity. Perhaps from an outsider, it does look strange. But if you're in it, you understand.
I don't think I have to understand. I mean, if they're killing people because they love the game so much, the game sounds pretty bad.
That is the rarest thing that ever... Oh, my gosh. That is like the rarest
But it does
thing.
happen.
Yeah, and when the Super Bowl happened, they burned down half a city.
And I agree.
Raped and pillaged and looted and flipped over cars and threw Molotovs at the police. That's shameful in itself. MLS has never done that.
Nick,
MLS has never done that.
Your entire point was that soccer is, what was the word you used?
Universal?
No. It is more passionate than football is. So you're essentially saying that all this stuff is okay. I am saying it's atrocious and horrible. And you're going, I'm proud because 93 people died at this thing.
Nope.
And it's okay because it's our pride.
Nope. As a matter of fact, I actually said in the beginning of that point that it is shameful and it is not right.
But then you went on to say that it was this great thing.
No, I'm saying that there's more energy. That very rarely happens. What I'm saying is the point I brought that up is to say that you can't compare American football to soccer because...
That's the whole argument we're having right now.
If you look at the fans, I feel like you're reaching. If you look at the fans as a whole on this point, and I'll come back to it, as a whole, the fans as a whole are they care way more than American football. The fans, if you look globally...
They care enough to kill people.
Okay.
I would say that's too much caring.
Okay. I want you to name the last time someone died during a soccer game.
I don't know shit about soccer.
So you don't even know.
Why don't you tell me, Nick?
How do you know when people die?
Why don't you... All I'm doing is putting your words back in your mouth.
I was bringing up the passion of the game that, yes, in some parts of the world,
people die at soccer games.
It's so rare. It's so rare that
Nick.
happen.
How often? When was the last time it happened? How many people died, Nick?
Pause. I'll look it up. Pause. So first off, let's state that this is a weak point.
This is the most recent.
It looks like in Europe, one dude, there might have been a little bit of an argument, and there was some pushing, and one dude died in like all of 2018.
So you saying that one life is not important?
Oh my
Because the passion for the game is more important than that man's life?
I'm saying that people get passionate. People
get passionate and they kill people.
That's right, they made a movie. Now, when it comes to deaths, yes, one dude got killed in Europe. It was very small, but there was a whole movie that was made. I'm pretty sure Will Smith actually played in it. That was about a doctor that was trying to prove that the head-on collisions that were happening in football were causing brain damage to the players. And they tried to cover it up as much as they could. No. Shut that guy up. And it was causing them. That's why domestic abuse is so high with American football is because these players get brain damage from the game, and they go home and they have like freaking rage moments and slap people around. So in soccer, you're right. Sometimes fans do get carried away. It happens in all games. The fans get a little too carried away. There's too much. Usually soccer deaths are caused by like crowds rushing and stampedes. Happens all the time. It doesn't happen in just soccer. It happens in multiple ones. The fans are passionate. I would argue they are more passionate because they'll fight with each other and stuff. Yes, does it come to death? Rarely. Very, very, very rarely. And very rarely does it ever happen in the U.S. It does happen, but it's rare. But in American football, they literally try to cover up the fact that players were getting brain damage and then going home and having psychotic rage episodes caused by the game they were playing.
You think that doesn't happen with soccer players that are so testosteroned out that they don't...
That illegal drug use is forbidden in American football and in soccer. Global.
So you think soccer players don't get knocked down and hit their head and go a little crazy and smack their wives around?
No, I don't.
See, I can continue Googling same as you.
Maybe rarely, but there was a whole conspiracy around how a doctor was trying to prove this. And then look at the domestic assault cases. You want to bring in violence, bring up the domestic assault cases between football players and soccer players. If you want to pause it, go ahead.
No, you continue making your point.
The whole point I had that was supposed to be made in it is, yes, soccer players take the game far more seriously than American football players. Does it end in death? Sometimes, but that is so rare. It is so rare. So rare. As a matter of fact, in all of 2018, when you went through Google, the only thing you find is one dude who slipped and fell and passed away from it. One dude, world, 2018. So weak argument. The whole point I was making is, yes, they get intense. There is like a ride or die, almost patriotic fervor that goes with the sport that you don't get necessarily in American football. That was my whole argument. Is there unfortunate consequences that some people take it too far? Yes, some people take anything too far. But if you want to bring in violence, American football players have a more violent record than soccer players. True. And a lot of it comes down to they had a whole movie where they were talking about this conspiracy where they were trying to cover it up of the brain damage that came.
That is true.
They were trying to cover it up, and it was leading, and the doctor was trying to prove the point that it was leading to brain damage. And they tried to cover the whole thing up. Shut this guy up. Shut this guy up. Hide it. How could you support a game where the people who host the games try to cover up the injuries they have in their players? They don't care about their players. Soccer, the players are put on a pedestal. Put on a pedestal, man.
Obviously,
you can name players, you can name coaches far more than you remember. The players are remembered more than the teams. Not true with American football.
Obviously, that is true because right here is a story of a man getting off of a charge for aggravated domestic assault of beating his wife in an elevator, and this is a soccer player he's a Colombian soccer player.
Colombian soccer player. So you're going global. How about I name Michael Vick?
Oh, Michael Vick. Yeah.
What about OJ?
Yeah.
Yeah. American football players that I don't have to Google, I can just name and everybody knows them.
Yes, because this is America and we know about American stuff. I don't know anything about soccer. I have to Google.
Okay, then do me a favor, buddy. Find some MLS on there. I'll wait. Go ahead. Go find some MLS players.
That do what?
Anything you want to bring up, homie? You're the one to open this door, homeboy.
You did. You've Googled further than I did.
I Googled because you make it sound like every single time that soccer plays a game that there's 3,000 dead.
I didn't say that.
They're like bringing, we're having a soccer game. Everybody get the body bags out. Get the body bags out. No, it is so rare. That. The whole point I had of that whole thing was that soccer players take the game far more seriously than American players. The whole point of it was the passion that lies behind that it's almost like two countries coming together.
MLS player resigned while under suspicion for domestic violence charge.
Who was it? And when was it?
Tyler Derrick.
When was it?
2009.
2009.
Yep. Domestic violence charged with a misdemeanor of assault.
Was it caused by the sport? Is there any research that shows that?
Blah, blah, blah.
Sorry, everybody. Let Tanner waste your time while he sits here and looks. We'll all just wait. We don't have anything better to do. These good people that are listening to this, they don't have anything better to do than let you try to reach and grab the best you can from me.
I'm only reaching because you reach.
Google searching while sweat goes down his face. I brought it up because your argument was that every time soccer plays, somebody dies.
I never said that every time.
My counter argument is, though, it is so unimaginably, it is less than 1% globally. Because American football is only in America. Globally, it is less than 1% that someone passes away from like a crazy incident. I did bring up that there is more passion, especially in Europe, that people get on their feet more. They stand, they yell, they cheer. It's more intense. They almost treat their clubs and teams as like countries and banners and flags.
We do that with football.
Not to the same extent.
It's bullshit.
Not to the same extent.
Bullshit. When's the last time you went to a football game?
I have gone to
a Tennessee game. Nobody fucking likes Tennessee. I have gone to more than just
Tennessee. I have gone to several Tennessee games, and I have seen, as a matter of fact, I have seen the other teams.
What, you went to UTC?
When was the last time you went to a game, Tanner?
It's been a while.
Have you gone to an Alabama game?
No, but you watch it on TV every fucking time it's on.
And I watch it on TV too, but the difference between me talking about my sport, I've been to the stadiums.
Go for it.
13, 14, 16 times.
And I'm not saying that every time there's a soccer game, there's dead bodies.
That's the way you made it sound. You made it sound like soccer is such a travesty upon the human race that every single time somebody gets into it, someone dies. They lay bodies. There's ambulances
I never
that are
said
brought
that.
up
You're putting
every
words
game.
in my mouth.
You're
putting words in my mouth. And all I did was repeat back to you your words. I put your words back in your mouth and you got upset.
My exact words.
And the only reason I started Googling is because we had to pause so you could Google.
I had to Google because you were making it sound like that, and I had to clarify. The whole...
points.
No, give me 60 seconds. The whole end of the point I'm going to make with that was I said that, yes, it is shameful. I wasn't talking about death. What I was talking about was that, yes, people will get violent. They take it far more seriously than American football. There is so much a higher intensity. Do people die? Globally, less than 1%.
Bullshit.
Less than 1%.
Bullshit. What was your point written on there where 73 fans died at one place?
In like 2000, because you keep bringing stuff up, way back in like 1980, there was a stampede, which happens at tons of places.
Okay.
There are religious festivals.
How many people died?
96 people got
96 people got stomped and died at one soccer game.
Because of a stampede.
Okay.
Because they opened the gates and people wanted to rush in to see the game.
Because of their passion for the game, almost 100 people died at one game. There's no excuse, Nick. You're making an excuse for 100 people dying.
Because stampedes happen all the time. Stampedes happen all the time, not just at sporting
events. And you know what? Here's the thing.
It was because the stadium was built poorly. The stadium was built...
No, they were so passionate. They were so passionate that the fans could run over 100 people, killing them, and not give a damn, and continue stepping on them.
That is not at all what happened.
That is what happened in this situation. Not every situation. We're back.
Sorry about that.
So we're going to make our final statements. And... we'll leave it in your hands to decide which is better.
Okay. Nick's final points.
We're not going to argue with each other. We're just going to make our points.
Soccer is universal. You can go all over the planet. People are familiar with the game. They know how to play it. There's the World Cup, which was watched more than any other sporting event on the planet. Second, there is passion involved, more so than I would argue with American football. There was a stampede one time, a long time ago, because some fans were trying to rush in to see if they can get a free game or whatever, and some people got stamped on that. Stampede is an absolute tragedy. I'm not making light of that in any way. I wasn't even trying to bring that up. That was just a point I had in case Tanner was like, it was so violent, so violent. No, that was it's actually known as the Hillsborough disaster is what it was known as. Complete tragedy. Heart goes out to any of those who might have been affected by it, because we are seen all over the place. I'm not making light of that subject at all, but Tanner wanted to bring up the violence in it. That was the worst one. Pretty sure that was the worst ever. Sorry it even got brought up. And then the last thing is the high intensity. The unpredictability of the game, far more than American football. It can go from one side to the other. Like I said, it's hard to even sit down. Here, you go ahead.
My points are as stated. It is American. It is nostalgia. Cheating has not become part of football as it has with soccer. It is not dominated by small groups of rich clubs. That's not necessarily in America, but I'm talking about in Europe. Players respect the officials. The scores in football actually have to be earned, and the game doesn't come down to one person jumping in the wrong direction where somebody kicks the ball in the other, which is the penalty points or whatever it's called. It actually comes down to you have to earn your points, not just one person versus one person. It's the team, it's camaraderie, it's you're fighting together to win the game.
I actually don't have a problem with American football. I actually love American football. Truth be told, they're honestly, soccer and American football, in my opinion, oh, my hair, my goodness, I need to cover that up. I would actually say it's probably a tie with me. I love them both equally. When somebody says to me, which one is better, American football or soccer, I'm like, that's like asking me which one would you rather have, a cheeseburger or fried chicken.
Right.
Oh, they're both so good. Both so good. I loved it. I hope everybody enjoyed this one. This was the one that we really hyped up. This is the one we really tried to bring everything to the table and really try to get everybody involved and passionate. And this one was a lot of fun.
It was.
This one was a lot of fun.
It was. I would like to point out that Nick just said that he likes them equally, which means
hey, video's
football
over,
is better.
Hey, video's over, homie. That was the argument. Argument's over. Argument's over. This don't.
All right. Thanks for coming along, guys, on another video. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on Facebook.
Please.
Give us a follow and a rating on the podcasting apps that you got out there on your cell phones. Think about taking a screenshot and sharing it to Instagram or Facebook to let people know what you listen to, and it'll help us in the long run.
Try. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook.
Boom. It's a Witty Banter Official.
The official.
Be sure to go and like and rate that page on Facebook. You can jump down in those comments.
Get in those comments.
We've actually got a video coming out very soon where we're going to be reading the comments and answering all of them back.
I'm so
on
excited
video.
for that one.
I
That
am
one is
too.
going to be fantastic.
I am too. But thanks for coming along, guys. This has been
This has been maybe the best one yet.
this has been a little bit in the making, and you've had to wait a little while for it.
Yeah. We've
but
worked on this one for a long time.
that's another one.
Another one. See y'all.